So tell us a bit about yourself.
So I'm Rachel, I'm 26 and come from Dundee but live in Glasgow, and I work for SPUC Scotland. So I have been invited here today in that capacity, really, as someone who works in the pro-life movement.
Rachel, what does it mean for you to be pro-life?
So I was brought up in a very actively pro-life family. My parents actually met through a pro-life organisation, and so it was something that I was brought up with. And I remember even as a child just understanding the importance of the issue, and in a childlike simplicity, I guess, just thinking, why would you not be pro-life? It just made such sense. I never questioned that you would be anything else, understanding especially with the issue of abortion, that as a child from the moment of conception, that's a new human life, and that nobody should have the right to destroy that life, and that life should be protected. And I guess a certain passion kind of grew within me from a young age when I realised that so many children were that their life was at threat in the womb, and felt really called to do something, to play some part in the pro-life movement. And at first was just, of course, like through my family and different events they were involved in, and I think I always felt at some stage I would be involved myself in a bigger way. So this opportunity came up to be involved with and work for SPUC, and so it's something I've always really cared about, and it's always been important to me.
What are your thoughts on the events today?
It's been really good to be here today. I didn't realise there'd be so many people, so many women who are involved in the pro-life movement. It's been nice just to chat to them, and as people have mentioned throughout the day, just the importance of networking really, and meeting together, even just socially, and just to chat, and that creates kind of power within the movement itself as well, and strengthens the friendships and working relationships and things. And I think hearing Catherine's testimony of a young mother who chose life, and is a beautiful witness of someone who's just got so much love for her child and the beauty of her child, and that has really struck me. So yeah, the power of testimonies has been really good today, and hopefully it will continue to grow the pro-life network in Glasgow and in Scotland.
Thank you very much, Rachel.
You're welcome.
Yourself.
My name's Lynn Murray, and I currently live in Edinburgh, where really I brought up my family, and I don't work at the moment. I have 4 children who are all getting older now. The youngest one is 13 and she has Down syndrome, and she's just started at mainstream secondary school, so I'm trying to help support her in that. So at the moment I don't feel like I should work or whatever, because I feel I'm trying to give her the best education that she can get. So that's kind of, I feel it's probably my main role at the moment.
Mm-hmm. And what does it mean for you to be pro-life, and how are you involved?
I think for me it means regarding everybody the same. I think it's not just about abortion or whatever, it's seeing that everyone is equal, and we're in a first world country, and I think we should be able to support people as much as we can, whereas we seem to have taken the very sort of opposite view, and you sort of see the more vulnerable people are being pointed at for sort of, using all our resources and whatever, and we've just totally got the wrong attitude. And I feel that people need to start examining, and it's not about telling people what to think, but it's asking them to think. And so it's trying to find ways of getting them to think about things. Mm-hmm. Which the danger is when you say you're pro-life is you shut people off.
Yeah. And what are your thoughts on the event today?
It's great, it was really good, and it was particularly good that we did have a patron saint of the lunch who's a lady, and who's obviously a formidable lady. I did know a wee bit about Queen Margaret, and amazed she had 8 children and time to do anything, but I suppose they didn't all stay little. So it's good, and I think as you get older you start to think about how people manage to do things. So I imagine her saying, I would like to bring the poor every day, and people, for me to meet them and have people saying, we can't do that, you're the Queen, and so I think she probably turned a lot of things on their head, and again that's being pro-life, because her place wasn't to be with the poor people, but she was showing the example to others that we have to look after each other no matter who we are or where we are. And and if I can't come to them, then they come to me. In her case, it probably wouldn't have been appropriate for her to go out to them. So it's sort of, bringing them to her, and she was a great example, I think, for women even nowadays.
Tell us about yourself.
Well, my name is Louise Grant, and I volunteer here at Cardinal Winning Pro-Life Initiative as often as I can. It's something that's very close to my heart, so it's good that I'm able to do that when I can.
So, what does it mean for you to be pro-life?
Well, for me, there is no doubt that life begins at conception. That is just a fact. If there's nothing before, when does it become something? So it must begin at conception. A lot of women think that we're against them by being pro-life, we're against women, but that's not how it is. We are for women, we are trying to help women. And it doesn't actually stop at abortion. To be pro-life, for me, means, guarding life from the moment of conception until natural death. Mother Teresa also had a good quote that, she said that it's a poverty to decide that a child must die in order that you might live as you wish. So, that's just, for me, that's what being pro-life is. It's just guarding that life from the moment that you're born all the way through until your natural death.
So how do you feel about today's event?
Today's been a fantastic day, really. There's so many women here that is, they've been involved in the pro-life movement for so long, and they're so influential women as well. There's a lot of great women, and Sister Roseanne and Sister Andrea are just two out there that that are absolutely amazing in the work that they do. And St. Margaret has to be, she's not mentioned enough. So for being St. Margaret's Day and celebrating the feast of St. Margaret, is something really big as well. And you see the tartan clad, you need to you need to kind of honour that, and it's just been great to get all these women together and on this special day and just celebrate such a great feast in such a great way, and celebrate all these great women as well. It's just been an absolutely fantastic day. Tell us a bit about yourself.
Right, my name is Jacqueline Stewart, and I am a mother of 5 children, and I was a chartered accountant many years ago, and have over the lives of my 5 children dipped in and out of work, and my chartered accountancy eventually took me into education, and then I gave up work completely to be a mother of my 5 children. I'm now a full-time mum.
So Jacqueline, what does it mean for you to be pro-life?
For me to be pro-life, I see it quite holistically, in that I have quite a lot of experience of both the culture of life, which I find all embracing and uplifting, and I've also got a bit of experience of the culture of death, and I think just through all my life experiences, I think God has very slowly and gently brought me to a very fulfilling realisation that only through a culture of life do we really live. And holistically, I think we need to do so much as a society to encourage each other to value life and to respect life and to see that it is really the only true way to happiness.
And what are your thoughts on the events we've had today?
Today, I think it's been fantastic. I think it's been a really lovely, uplifting, happy gathering of very like-minded people, which I think is so important because the cause of life at the moment is under attack. We see it in all sections of society, and quite often, no matter what you're doing in your own small way to encourage a pro-life culture, it can feel that you're quite isolated and that not many people actually really truly respect that viewpoint, and to come together and gain some strength from each other and maybe some ideas, and I think it's invaluable, because truly pro-life culture is the answer.
It's a great day to sort of tie it in with the Feast of St Margaret as well.
Of course, and it being the Feast of St Margaret, which we had yesterday, and St Margaret being such a wonderful inspiration to mothers, a great respecter of life and all that means. You know, the patronage of and the care for our beloved Scotland as well. I think it's really important, you know, and very inspiring for us as Scots Catholics to remember her patronage as we work in our own particular ways to progress the cause of life.
Well, thank you very much for that. That's great.
Okay.
About yourself.
About myself? I don't think there's anything particularly interesting to say about myself. Well, my name is Janet Fryley and I'm Andrea's mother. And I'm so blessed to have her and then to have another adopted daughter, because once we went to Dunfermline, Andrea and Roseanne invited me to Dunfermline for the weekend. It was to celebrate my birthday, I think, because my dad was always in Spain at my birthday, and Dunfermline obviously was the place to take me, St Margaret's Place. And at that, we were having our dinner on the Saturday night, and Roseanne decided that from then on I was to be her mother too. And it's the only time I've ever seen a tear in Roseanne's eye.
Aww.
So it was genuine. So she's my big girl and Andrea's my wee girl.
Oh, that's lovely. And you know, how important is it for you today to celebrate the Feast of St Margaret?
I think it's high time. You know, I mean, I'm an oblate of Pluscarden Abbey too, and St Margaret is my patron. But this is the first time I've ever known anything celebrating St Margaret like this, and it's high time. Scotland desperately needs St Margaret. You know, she helped Scotland so much in her own time, when the church in Scotland was a bit, you know, shaky. It's not in a great state now, and we need St Margaret. And now it's ranting at a priest recently saying she should be invoked at every single mass in Scotland. We need her. She brought the church into line with Rome in her own day. We need to be brought into line with something nowadays. So
it's partly your influence that, you know, the sisters decided to have this day as well, because you love St Margaret so much.
Yeah.
That's a great
thing. I can't understand why she's so neglected in Scotland. Apart from everything else, and we don't have an awful lot of saints in Scotland. I think we must have more than are recognised, because Scotland went through the Reformation. We hear about all the English saints who lost their lives, who were martyred during the Reformation. We hear about the millions and trillions of Irish saints. How many Scottish saints have we? You can count them in your one hand. I think it's just this, I don't know if it's this Scottish thing, we don't push ourselves. We've got St John Ogilvie. You know, Margaret Sinclair, Duns Scotus. I don't even know they're not terribly sure that Duns Scotus was a Scot. Scotus means Scottish, and he came from Duns. Can't be clearer than that, but. And he was important in what he did, the dogma of the Immaculate Conception. He was a brilliant man. Scotland needs a wee shove in the right direction.
Yeah. It's a good start today, you know.
Yes.
That's good. And lastly, what does it mean for you to be pro-life?
Well, just for what, I think just for what it should be for any normal person. If there's life there, it's to be treasured. It must. I mean, how can you? I mean, even as I said there, you see a cat crossing the street that's going to be knocked down, you say, oh, I nearly went through the windscreen of our car once because my husband was saving the life of a pigeon. So I wasn't terribly pleased, I guess.
I'm glad you're okay. Thank you very much for that, Janet. Thank you for your time.